We heard about Lean through NC State. We discovered they had a program where they would come into state agencies or private sector companies to introduce Lean methodologies and what that meant to companies and how it could improve operations.
Lean training came about as a way to look at our production process and improve it, make it better. One of the things we see at a lot of our locations is we just change the location of a piece of equipment. We move it around and realize, hey, this flows better. The reason we put this piece of equipment in this spot to begin with is because we had a space for it when it was ordered.
And they have the opportunity to see that it does help the overall process. It makes more efficient, and sometimes the change benefits them as far as time, as far as money, as far as savings.
We've got 64 machines inside the plant, and by the time we got done with our initiative that we started, we had moved 63 of those machines.
We also took the thermal tops and bottoms. We don't buy the trim anymore. We were taking the waste that we were taking to the landfill, and we actually use that to make our cuffs and our collars now. So we don't have to buy the trim that actually goes on the garments. So we had a total of $18,000 in savings.
So we're not looking for $1 million savings. We're just looking for small incremental cost savings, production increases, things of that nature that will help us in the long run.
A lot of the female offenders that we work with need to feel needed, and they need to feel like their opinion matters. So that is an immediate effect of this training. They feel like they're a part of something much bigger than who they are.
And they have a voice. They can talk to us. They can express their ideas. They can express their opinions, whether it be negative or positive.
Employees are basically brainstorming all the time. In other words, looking for ways they can improve or make an adjustment or make a small change for the better in the facility to a degree. Just, coming up with ideas that we're never coming up with before.
We have so many talented and gifted people with wonderful ideas that until now they really haven't felt comfortable sharing that information with leadership.
I am extremely proud of what this Lean team has done. This team of 6 Correction Enterprises employees has taken it on as a personal challenge to take a good look at how we can improve safety throughout our plants, reduce redundancy, reduce waste in every way, improve the flow of how a product is manufactured within Correction Enterprises. And they have taken that to a level far beyond any expectation that I had.
I just feel like the accomplishments we've been able to do and the things that the many individuals we've been able to touch, I really think the program has been worth it, and it speaks volumes. The results don't lie.
My name is Michelle Bryant, and I am a substance abuse counselor here at NCCIW. I've been in the community of Goldsboro, which is in Wayne County, since 2006, publicly, but before that I was behind the scenes. And it all started when I was in the 12th grade, and I was on the Goldsboro High School varsity basketball team, and my grandmother, who raised me, she could not afford to purchase my basketball shoes. So the basketball coach at that time, name was Norville Lee, he saw that I didn't have my shoes, and he called me into the office. And so he began to question me about, why I wasn't in my proper uniform. Then I began to explain, well, I'm gonna get my shoes, but just not right now because my granny couldn't afford to. So he then in turn sent me to what was called Sportsman World at that time and purchased my shoes. And that just really had a profound impact on my life. And so from then on, I just began giving. I just began to give back because somebody gave to me.
I have seen her, she came in running. And what I see about her is the sincerity and always addressing the needs, individual needs too, of her clients. I don't care what program we put her in. It could be in our long-term program, it could be in our IOP 90-day program. She is on it.
The very first program I done was the All-Star basketball game. So what we did was we brought in Seymour Johnson, because that is home of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. So I wanted to get Seymour Johnson more into the community. So we did a basketball game. So it was Team Wayne County versus Team Seymour Johnson, and everybody loved it. Everything I do is geared about family, it's fun, and to give the youth a different perspective.
And she's going here and she's doing this, and she says, I gotta do this. And then I was like, where does this lady get this energy? And it's the same as she does here. So no, I am not surprised that Miss Bryant got this award. It's a well-deserved award to acknowledge what she has done here as well as out there.
What I've learned is when you're passionate about something, you'll make time for it. So for me, it's just, again, it's just a natural thing to do. And I'll be 80, 90 years old, still trying to put together a service.
My day started out on March the 5th. I was off duty at the time. I was taking my oldest daughter to South Johnson High School. She was a junior at South Johnson. I left my house that morning about 6:30 to take her to school, and I was traveling north on 301 here.
A route that he travels every day, and he said he just drove up on a bunch of cars, and just like it always is that cop mode, just trying, what's going on? Let me see what can I do?
Everybody was looking over the embankment. As I got closer, I could see 4 tires sticking up out of the water.
Dwight did what he does best. He just jumped right in and started helping himself, not thinking about himself. It was about what he can do to help somebody else.
And as we went down in the water, the back door, we got the back door open, and the water was level with the door jamb. You couldn't even see inside the vehicle. There was a shoe floating out of the vehicle and some debris, and I could hear a voice inside the vehicle crying out, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." Trying to reach in the vehicle and couldn't feel anybody. And when the front door opened, got the door open, and as soon as the door come open, a face just kind of emerged out of the water.
To hear that he stopped when he was off duty, when he could have very well kept going and said, I'm off duty, it's not my problem, I knew it wouldn't be him, or any of my troopers for that matter. But Dwight is exemplary in what he does, and he's an outstanding asset for Johnston County.
I don't really remember the water being that cold. Of course, once we got out, the realization of it all kind of kicked in. I took my shoes and everything off and went on back and got in the truck and tried to get her to school real quick so I could get back home and get a shower and get warmed up.
He doesn't consider himself a hero at all. He just considers himself Dwight Braswell. But to me, he is definitely a hero, because to me, going above and beyond on his day off, it says a lot about him and his character.
You know, when you see it, all you do is realize somebody needs help. And it doesn't matter if you're working or if you're off. It doesn't matter if you're a trooper, or it doesn't matter who you are. If somebody needs help, we all have a responsibility to look after each other.
My wife tells me I woke up and I wasn't feeling really good, and I wasn't going to go fishing. She decided if I wasn't going to go, she wasn't going to go. So I went.
It was September 23rd. I was out here fishing with my fiance. It was a beautiful day. We were catching fish literally 2 at a time on our hooks. I mean, it was a great day to be fishing.
Everything seemed to be okay, I thought, and I've been told that some guys came up and talked to me, and they said that I really didn't seem right for some reason. Went up and laid down on my little recliner under my big umbrella at the end of the pier. Right after that, he said he turned around and looked at me, and I was shaking and turning purple.
All of a sudden, we heard a commotion at the very end of the pier. We both kind of looked that way. People were running that way, so we just left our poles in the water. When we got down there, we saw a man lying with his back on the pier. He was literally blue in the face.
And it wasn't hard to imagine that Megan was one of the first ones to respond and attempt to help this gentleman. That's just her nature. She's going to get involved and help out whenever and wherever she can.
So my fiance got on the ground and she literally started doing compressions on him. So I started counting aloud, the compressions out loud. She got tired at that point, so I switched out with her and continued the compressions.
They said that there's a valve in the heart that fluttered through the heart. So it's not a bad valve, it's actually a soft heart muscle. And it could have been from the heat of the day, it could have just been tired. And the CPR actually pushed the valve back through.
Ironically enough, 4 days prior to this, I had actually recertified through the state of North Carolina in my CPR training. So this happened on the 23rd of September. On the 19th of September, I had gone through my yearly recertification in CPR.
Everything she did definitely saved my life. I've had 3 doctors tell me I'm a miracle, and it wasn't me, it was them.
So it's really great to hear that she's going to be recognized for what she did, for doing a good deed, and that's Megan. If you know Megan, she's going to do what's right.
I don't think I was a hero, no. I was just doing what I was trained to do and what my instincts kicked in and told me to do.
Last year in September, I was on my way to pick up my kids from my grandparents. I was about 2 minutes away when a gentleman in another car didn't see his line of traffic stopping, and so he swerved into my lane and hit me head on. We were going approximately 50 miles per hour. My car was really bad, torn up, and when I went to get out, I stepped down on my ankle and realized that something was wrong. When I looked down, I could see my bone, I could see everything going on down there, and I realized that I was in a world of trouble. So I got back in my car and I could hear people starting to yell, get her out, her car's on fire. And that's when I saw Corey come up.
I was on my way home from the Charlotte Armory one day from work and was following behind a vehicle on the same route that I normally take. And the lady in front of me was hit head on by a vehicle that crossed left to center. So me being the first person on the scene, I instantly got out, stopped my car, and ran up to the scene where Miss Guin had gotten out of her vehicle. And I could see that she had a severe compound fracture on her ankle that she was trying to stand on. And I grabbed her and held her up. And with the assistance of another gentleman on the scene, we moved her to the side of the road. I could hear liquid running out from under the vehicle, and I could smell heat. And as I got her to the side of the road and looked under the vehicle, I could see the flames already coming up.
He helped lay me down in the grass because I'd gone as far as I could go. I felt like I was going to pass out. And he was, you know, keeping me calm, telling me, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. He stayed right there with me. And then the car burst into flames, and there was parts popping off. There was shocks and parts of the motor exploding. They were coming and hitting us, and he actually shielded my body with his body to keep me from getting further injured from the burning pieces that were coming off of my car. If I could tell him one thing, it would be thank you. Thank you for putting your life on the line for me and for protecting me and for keeping me from getting more injured or worse than what happened that day, because I got to go home to my kids. And not everybody's that lucky. Not everybody gets a hero or a guardian angel that's right behind them to save them. So I would just say thank you. Thank you for being you, and thank you for doing what you think is normal, but it's not. Thank you.